Hi Virgo, welcome to your monthly tarot reading with me, Raphael.rey from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for joining me. So I just want to say thank you so much for all of your continued support. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. If you are already a subscriber, please don't forget to press the notification button so that you get notifications when I post new videos. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit subscribe. If you haven't already, also, please check out your Key to the Eclipses video. It talks about the 3 eclipses that we're going to have and what that might mean and what it might shape up to for us all. And also, there is a video up at the moment called Retrogradia, and it's the first part in a 3-part mini-series. I really hope you enjoy it. Check it out. So, before we start, I would like to bless both of these decks that I'm about to use with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. Okay, so let's see what the month of August 2018 has in store for you. So your actions and your interactions with the world at large. You got the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is a stunning card, and it actually kind of ties up with the fact that Venus is moving through your sign this month. So the Two of Wands represents a few things actually. It represents stepping out of one era of life and into a new one, but not being 100% sure on the decision that you're about to make. And your actions and your interactions is about your enterprise. It's what you do, it's the actions that you take and the steps that you take. If you see that person on the world card actually has the world in their hand, on the world card, on the Two of Wands card, has the world in their hand and they're looking outward, they've got one wand here, and it's like they're taking that step, they're moving from the past into the future. Now this card also represents affluence and affluent people. It represents you finding or being adopted by even possibly people that are able to facilitate your personal growth, and that could be in your finances, in your abundance. It represents affluent people, people that have good connections, people that can bless you with those connections. And the Two of Wands often asks us to make a decision, to make that step, to make that transition, to step out of one era and into another. You know, Virgos, you guys are precise, you are precision manifested, you know, and that's why people say, oh wow, Virgos are perfectionists and, you know, they're scrutinizing and all the rest of it. I don't believe that it is so much that you're perfectionists or that you're scrutinizing. I just believe that when you do things, you like it to be done with quality. You like it to be done to the best of its ability. You know, whatever ability you have and whatever it is that you do, you like to offer that to what it is that you're doing. So your actions and your interactions this month are asking you not only to bring your own personal Virgo-ness to what it is that you do, but also make the true and honest decision to finally step into something new and a different era for your own life. The Two of Wands is a beautiful card because it can really bring you affluence and abundance, and also people that can help facilitate that for you in your own life. Wonderful. So your money and your materials this month. You know, your money and your materials is your resources, your house, your car, you know, your finances. It can even be your body. And with Venus in your sign, you know, it can be making you more beautiful. It can be making you seek out more beauty in your life. You know, it can see you feeling deeply emotional and emotive and sensual. You know, being really aware of the things that make you feel good and the people that make you feel good as well. So you got the Tower card. Look at that. I love that. I love the way that tarot works. Okay, so when you get the Tower card, it actually, as a planetary correspondence, the Tower card would represent Uranus. And Uranus is in the sign of Taurus. It will be going retrograde back into Aries and then coming back through. But what it's worth mentioning is your money and your materials are about to go through a big shake-up. Now, shake-ups and big sweeping changes can actually be really good for us. Everybody, when they see the Tower card, it's like, oh my god. It's because it usually comes with something that is a surprise. It usually comes with something that comes left of field and completely shocks you. And the reason this happens, I believe, is a couple of reasons. So one, The Tower card represents all of the things that you built up in your life that you've made yourself believe are 100% secure. And then the Tower card experience comes along and says it's not secure. You're putting all your eggs in that one basket, but you need to understand that actually there is more to life than that, and more importantly, you have more than that to offer, you have more than that to give. Now, your money and your materials is going to be going through a shake-up. And if you think about it, your actions and your interactions this month are leading you to something new. There's a brand new horizon just on the precipice, just on the, like literally a brand new horizon just on the horizon. And it's kind of like you're having this moment of, oh, you know, I can step into something truly amazing, or I could just stay where I am because it's comfortable and known. And there's nothing wrong with staying with the comfortable and the known, but when you get this kind of experience, especially with the Tower, it's kind of saying, well, you can't sit there forever. And more importantly, you can't sit on the fence forever. You're going to have to make a decision, you know, and if you use, like I said, that Virgo-ness, you'll be able to really feel out the ground that you're going to step on and say, right, okay, if I'm going to step, it's got to be like this. If I'm going to sign a contract, maybe not this month with the Mercury retrograde that's going to happen. And, you know, if you're an ascendant Virgo, it's going to be happening in your 12th house. So, you know, maybe you want to think about that, because it could see things coming back from the past that, you know, you thought were done but actually aren't. But in terms of contracts and stuff, if you can absolutely stand it or get away with it, maybe sign them after Mercury goes direct. So like I said, you know, with the Tower card, it's those things that we believe are absolutely secure, but then we're reminded that they're not. And it's also, I believe this is going to be pushing you to step into a new era. Your finances, your money and your materials are going to be going through a big shift. For some of you, this actually looks like this month you will find out that you have to move, whether that's for work, whether it's by choice, whether it's because you find somewhere that you feel suits you more than the place that you're at now. You know, I kind of feel that things are shifting for you this month, and it might not necessarily be by your conscious choice, but you, of all people, are equipped to deal with this change. The other thing as well, you know, when you see the Tower card, that really strikes me about it is, yes, it may be a blasting experience and it might reduce the Tower to rubble, but once the dust and the rubble is cleared, what's left? Who is left is terra firma, and it can be trusted 100%. Okay, so your communications this month. Oof. Wow, so you got all the challenges this month, certainly the biggest two challenges. So your communications, you get the Ten of Swords. Now, the Ten of Swords is not a great card. The Ten of Swords is often a difficult situation, and it comes through your communication. And with this here, with the Tower there in your money and your materials, and the Ten of Swords in your communication sector. So the Ten of Swords is being tired, it's being at the end of your wits, it's being, you know, totally frustrated, and it represents, you know, often some sort of conflict that makes you feel quite worn out. It can also be backstabbing, you know, all of those kind of things. It's one of the reasons it's not the card that anybody wants to see. But there's a few things that are worth mentioning. One, the Ten of Swords, it's the end of the Swords cycle. The number 10 is about completion. It's about, you know, attainment or accomplishment. It's about finally being over or past something. Now, the fact that this happens in your communications and this happens here in your money and your materials, like I said, it's, you know, because it's also deep sorrow and sadness. It could be that you find out this month you have to move. It could be that this month you find out that, you know, a friend or a work colleague wasn't actually as tight or as close to you or with you, or even as good towards you or about you behind your back as you thought. And this could see you, you know, discovering that this month. Now, when the Ten of Swords comes in your communications, especially with Mercury retrograde in your 12th house, secrets, past, things come into light, the, you know, the subconscious, all of the things that people have held on to. It's asking you to be open to that clearing, to be open to that experience of let the Tower fall. You know, let the secrets come out, because ultimately, once those things are cleared, you can truly step forward. So this new era that you're trying and that you want to step into, is going to come with an ending. It's going to come with a culmination. And don't forget, we've got the lunar eclipse that happens on the 27th of August, you know, so that's going to bring in itself that kind of experience. Don't forget, you know, that's going to be an experience of culmination, of ending of some sort. And it doesn't necessarily even have to be any of these things. It could just be endings that come that actually cause you some sort of pain. You know, not necessarily physically pain. It could just be, oh wow, okay, I didn't expect that, and it's making me feel some kind of way emotionally. But it will be news that reaches your ears about possibly people or situations that you thought were something else, and then through these events and certainly these surprises that come forward, you realise that they weren't what you thought they were. Ultimately, these two cards, once you've had their experience, you realise in hindsight that they were blessings in disguise. I've had a few tower moments in my life, and I tell you, at the time I wasn't grateful for the experiences, but once the dust had settled, I was very much like, actually, do you know what, that's done me good. And then finally, in your heart and your hearth, so this is your personal relationships, this is your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, family, friends, all of that stuff. And you get the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man is actually a really good card. It's a card of deep spirituality. It's also a card of enlightenment and true personal wisdom and understanding. For those of you that are coupled, there are going to be moments of fraught communication. For those of you that are coupled, there are going to be moments that shock and surprise you. I will probably say that some of the news that comes to you that is challenging may well be coming from your partner's side, and that doesn't necessarily mean that it's them that's giving you the challenge or the difficult communication. It may be something that happens in their life because it's sort of opposite you, and it's kind of saying that, you know, just be there as a support. And it's going to be really important as well for you to let them have the experience, because it might well be that the emotional turmoil that you feel is actually coming because you see somebody that you love in some kind of turmoil, you know. And this is a card that represents Pisces after all, so you know, that deep empathy and that understanding of where somebody is or how they actually feel. For those of you that are single, I have to say, this is not the month for you to get into partnerships. It might be that you find out, you know, it's probably actually not even that you find out that somebody that you might be seeing is, you know, wants to see somebody else. I kind of feel that this is going to be a month where you just want to take stock of your own stuff. You just want to look at, you know, what has the last year been about? Where am I going from here? What's important to me? It could also, because the Hanged Man represents martyrdom and sacrifice sometimes, and what it kind of asks you is, what am I willing to give for my relationships? How am I able to offer my support, my love and my care for my family, for my friends? How am I able to be the person that is there for everybody? And the thing is with Virgos, and I've already said this, you guys are so immensely kind, and it's one of the things that, you know, because of all the perfectionism stuff and all the rest of it, that people don't attribute to your sign, but Virgos are really kind people. They really are. They've got a lot of heart for everything and everyone, you know, and that's why they're always seeking quality. I think this month you're going to be really seeking to add quality and demonstrate your kindness to other people. The only thing that I would say about that is just make sure your personal cup is full first before you start pouring it out to everybody else. Whatever cup that may be in your life. So your heart and your half and your actions are actually quite blessed. They're saying take it slow, take it easy, be the Virgo that you are, make a wise decision, but you are going to have to make a decision. Irrespective, you will have to make a decision, and ultimately I guess what you're being asked is, do you choose your past or do you choose your future? And only you can truly answer that for yourself. Your actions and your interactions and your money and your materials are saying that something has to clear, some understanding, some new piece of information has to come in order for you to make that step, in order for you to make that transition. your money and your materials and your communications, this is where your issues kind of take place. And I don't feel like it's your finances. I think it's going to be revelations, like I said, probably from a partner or something that happens in their life, your communications as well in terms of your relationships. It's going to be coming from outside. So actually the truth of your month for August is that you personally are actually all right. There's just going to be a lot of stuff happening around you, and because you're so kind and you're so invested in people, it's going to be really hard not to take some of that on. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just make sure that you protect yourself and that you understand this isn't happening to me, it's happening to people that I care about. Because if you can do that and you can separate yourself from it emotionally, detach, you know, go through the process of acceptance, understanding, wisdom and enlightenment, if you can stay in that space, you'll be better able to help other people. You'll be better able and better equipped to help them. And the reason you'll be in that space is because you're not emotionally attached to or tied to it. Therefore, you'll be able to think clearer. So finally, your key to the month. The Hanged Man. So literally that, you might have heard me talk about this before if you've seen other videos, or if you you know, if this has come up in one of your previous spreads. I believe that the Hanged Man represents acceptance, and it represents enlightenment, and it represents the process of enlightenment. And the process of enlightenment is that you accept where you're at. Once you accept where you're at, you begin to understand where you're at and the experiences that you're having, or the experiences that somebody else is having. Once you have that experience, or once you have that experience of the understanding, you then start to get wisdom. And that wisdom comes from experience. It comes from the process of experiencing something. Once you've had all three of those steps, you reach enlightenment, because you can truly detach yourself from it and see it as an event instead of something that happens to you personally. And you know, this, like I said, it's the sign of Pisces. So when you see that, it kind of represents you doing and being a support for other people. It represents you finding that charitable aspect within yourself. And charity doesn't necessarily have to mean financial. It can, it may well for some of you, but it means being able to truly support and care for and utilize all of your inner faculties and resources to assist somebody else through their difficult time. So I think that's going to be the tagline for this video this month. It's happening around you, not to you. I wish you an abundance of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance itself. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on the email address below. If you would like to donate to the channel, of course, you can do so on the link below. Join me on Instagram. If you haven't already, like I said, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and hit the notification button so that you can see when I post new videos. As I said, there's some up already, the key to the eclipses and the retrograde specials, which is a mini series. And have a great month, and I will see you very soon for more videos. Take care.